Okay guys, so today we are going to start submitting and I will get you the detail about all this content. So what is submitting? We will have a detailed discussion on it, but before starting this we should know about the submitting process. So subnetting is nothing but dividing the large network into a small subnet, or you can say creating network within a network is called subnetting. You can take another example like creating directory within a directory. Suppose you do have one directory, and within a directory if you are going to create another directory, this is called subdirectory, right? Same kind, creating network. Suppose this is one network is there, and this in one network you are going to create multiple networks for subnets, or you can say multiple subnets, is called subnetting. So creating network within a network is called subnetting. Just like creating the directory within a directory is called subdirectory. Same kind, creating network within a network is called subnet. So before starting the subnetting, few things we should know about it, because you might be knowing IPv4 address can only provide 4.3 billion of address, only 4.3 billion of address. That is very surprising. It is 10% of current requirement, industry requirement. So but you will in the industry you will find everywhere people are using IPv4 address. How it is possible to manage all these addresses with the help of IPv4 address? It is only because of two concepts. One concept is network address translation, that is netting, and second is subnetting, right? So because of these two concepts, this 10% requirement, if these two concepts will be not there, then only IPv4 can manage only 10%. But with the help of these two concepts, industry are using IPv4 address this day also. So guys, we will have before starting subnetting, we should not forget about the IP fundamentals. So what is IP fundamentals? We have to get the details about it. So IP fundamental nothing but first concept is saying IPv4 we are going to discuss. So first it is saying it is 32-bit address represented in decimal, that is 192.168.1.108. This is the one example. So what is this 32-bit? So 32-bit is represented in binary bits. Guys, I hope everybody will be clear about binary bits. That is the combination of 0 and 1. So it is the combination of 0 and 1, and it is represented in 32 bits, right? But if you are going to write, so that will be written in decimal format. So you will, this IP address will be look like this. It is a 192.168.1.108. Second point is it is the combination of network ID and host ID. It's very interesting. The entire 32-bit address will be having few parts representing network and few parts representing host. So it is not fixed, but it is fixed that every IP address will have network part and host part. We will have a detailed discussion on it, which part is representing network and which part representing host in IP address, right? But it is very clear, you have to keep in mind that it is the combination of network ID, host ID. Means IP address will have network part and host part. How many bits is going to represent network and how many bits is going to represent host, that is the separate discussion, right? But definitely IP address will have network ID and host ID both. It is the combination of network ID and host ID. Third point is it is divided into 4 octets. So octet in the sense 8 bits is each. Every octet will have 8 bits. So 8 bits, so 8 4s are 32 bits. So first octet, this is your first octet, this is your second octet, this is your third octet, this is your fourth octet, right? So every octet is the combination of 8 binary bits. Next it is first octet is responsible for class identification. That is very important. So only this update is going to give you the detail about the class, because it is it is all 32 all addresses, 4.3 billion addresses is divided into 5 different class, right? Then fifth point is network is represented by 1 and the host is represented by 0. In this sense, these 32 bits, as I told you, is the combination of network bit and host bit. So as I told you, few parts will represent network and few parts will represent host. So in this case you can say network is represented by 1 and host will be represented by 0. Next point, sixth point is divided into 5 class, that is A, B, C, D and E. So class A, B, C is going to use for IP address, that is called unicast address, used for IP address. Unicast in the sense 1 to 1. So already you know different type of casting system is there, that is unicast, broadcast, geocast and multicast. So we'll have a discussion of same thing. So guys, this class D is class D IP address is used for multicast and class E address is used for research work. So we will not having detailed discussion on these two topics. We will have a detailed discussion on A, B and C class, right guys? So now come to the next slide, and it is now in this we are going to discuss about the range of class. So first of all, I am going to discuss about the range of class A, that is 0 to 127, but 0 is reserved for some special use, that is called default routing. 127 is used for some other purpose, that is used for testing of network interface card, that is NIC, and 1 to 126 address is going to use for IP address system. So guys, 1 to 126 is going to use for IP address, and that will represent class A. Class B will be represented by 128 to 191, class C 192 to 223, class D is 224 to 239, and class E is 242 to 255. Guys, as I told you, the only class A and B and C is responsible for IP addressing system, right? So here you can say this is 3 ABC having network and host, but I haven't mentioned anything in class D and E. Reason behind it is not going to use for IP address, right? So in this, one thing is very important: all ever mentioned address are the value of first octet. Whatever we have discussed till this all the value belongs from first octet only. So this value means, another way you can say, if you have a number, or you can say you have a 4 octet, this is the first octet, so this first octet, this is second octet, this is third octet, and this is fourth octet. So your first octet value will give you the detail about the class. No other octet is responsible to get you the detail about the class. Okay, fine. So by the seeing the first octet value, you have to understand which class IP address you are using and which class IP address you are discussing about. So suppose you are writing 128, in the sense 128 belongs to class B. See, 128 belongs to this class C. So 128, suppose in this you are going to write 200, so 200 also belongs to 128 to 191. Suppose you are going to write 225, 225, so 225 also belongs to class D, so it is class D address, right? So by seeing the first octet value, you can understand the class, right guys? So I hope it is clear. So next we should to the next topic, and next topic is we are going to discuss about the subnetting. So subnetting, what is subnetting? In this we are going to discuss about what is subnetting. So first point is saying subnetting is process to divide large network into a small subnet is called subnetting. What is it? dividing the large network into small subnet. As I told you guys, you do have, how you can explain a large network into, so suppose this is a large network, network is there, or you can say suppose one hard disk is there. So one hard disk is 1 TB hard disk is there, right? In what 1 TB hard disk you are going to make a partition C drive, D drive, E drive, G drive, like different partition you are going to create on hard disk. Why it is? Reason behind, you have to store separate thing in separate drives. So making partition of single drive is called partition. In that case, making the division of one network into multiple sub network is called subnetting. So subnetting, or you can say creating network within a network, is called subnetting. So second point is, subnetting is only possible in host part. Guys, as I discussed in previous section, you can say subnetting is only possible in host part, in the sense, suppose if class A is there, so class A having 16 24-bit for network. How many bits are there? 8 3 are 24. 24 host bit are there. So in class A, subnetting is possible in this 24 bit, and in class B, 16 bit is available for host. So definitely you can do subnetting is 16 bit. In class C, you have only one bit, only one octet, that is 8 bit for host. So definitely you will be able to do the subnetting in this last fourth octet of class C, right? So this is about this point, that is subnetting is only possible in host part. Now it helps to stop the wastage of IP. How you can understand how it is going to stop the wastage of IP? Just to take one example, suppose you are going to take right one address 192.168.2, and this is your question mark, right? Or you can say one company need only 10 IP address. How much IP address is required? Only 10 IP address, and you are giving this IP address. You don't have subnetting concept. So what will happen? Suppose you are going to give this address, so that company will be able to use 1 to 254 addresses, right? 1 to 254 address. So in this case, what will happen? 254. So it is the wastage of 244 address. So you are going to waste 244 address. Reason, company is asking only 10 address, 10 IP address. He require only 10 IP address, and you don't have subnetting concept, so you don't have any other option. Definitely you will give the slash 24 option. So slash 24 means 24 bit for network and 8 bit for host. So in this case, what will happen? You have to provide this address, and in class C, 192 belongs to class C address. So this is a class C IP, and if you are going to if company is asking 10 IP and you are going to provide this kind of, you don't have subnetting option, so definitely you are going to give him 254 address instead of 10 IP address. So guys, because of this, because of subnetting, you will be able to manage this 254 addresses to a small subnet, and with the help of subnetting, you will be able to provide as per the requirement of client. So we will discuss the technicality, how it is going to be divided large network into small subnet. We will discuss the technicality, but definitely you have to understand that you can going to stop the wastage of IP with the help of subnetting. Okay, next come to the point. So subnetting, I am going to give you the example of class C subnetting, then we will come to the class B, and then we will come to the class A also. So first of all, understand this table, what table is saying and why this table is generated. So guys, as you know, class C having 24 bit of network and 8 bits for host, right? As I told you in earlier slide, that it is class C having 3 octet for network and 1 octet for host. So subnetting is possible in this host only. And I told you network is represented by 1 and host is represented by 0, and I just written in same format. This is 8-bit network, this is 8-bit network, this is the second octet, this is the third octet represented in network, and this is the fourth octet that is representing the host. And guys, here it is the bit value, right? So it is 8 bit value, 8 bit is there, so bit value is this first bit value is 1 2, just you have to double it. So 1 2 2, if you double it it is 4, 4 double is 8, 8 double is 16, 16 to 32, 30 64 128, or in the format it is the value generated by 2 raised to power 0 is 1, 2 raised to power 1 is 2, 2 raised to power 2 is 4, 2 raised to power 3 it is 8, like that. It is the bit value. So you have to understand is first bit representing 1, second bit representing 2, third is 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 and 128, right? So this is the value you can say in this case it is. And third thing, this is the decimal value. Whatever bit is on means 1 will be the value of this octet. And this is the CIDR. CIDR is classless inter-domain routing. We will have a detailed discussion about it. CIDR, right? Classless inter-domain routing, right? So, and this CIDR is representing /24. What do you mean /24? /24 is number of network bits. So how many network bits are there? This is the network bit. 1 is there. How many ones are there? It is in 3 octets. So 3 octet is 24 bit. And if it is, so this is representing. Now it comes to the second point. So the rule of subnetting is taking the borrow from the host part. See, so the 0 represent host, and suppose if you are going to make it 1 in at this stage, so number of network bit is going to be increased by 1, that is 25. Previously it was 24. Now because 1 bit you have borrowed, because that it is 25. In second example, 2 bit you have borrowed, so it is 26. And in third example, it is 3 bit borrowed, it is /27. And fourth, fifth bit is borrowed 6 bit, 7 bit, and now it is 8 bit is borrowed. So suppose 1 bit is borrowed, its value will be 128, because the value of this bit is 128. If second bit is going to borrow, so the value of addition of these 2 bit will be 128 plus 64, that is 192. And suppose this is the 3 bit you have borrowed, and the addition of all these 3 bit is 128, 64, 32, that is 224, and it is increasing the bit. So this is the table. So till that, if you are going to borrow all the bit, so all the bit if you are going to high, so it will become 255, and all the bit is borrowed is /32 bit. So representation system representing this slice is representing the network, and it is saying that how many bits you do have in network section. So it is one kind of network and process is there that you can see how it is going to be managed. So here it is the communication narrative, and here it is saying, and now this is minimum 1 network bit and minimum 1 host bit, minimum 1 network bit and minimum 1 host bit required for subnetting. What do you mean? It means if you want to go for subnetting, so minimum 1 network bit is required for subnetting and minimum 2 bits. So here in this example you can say 7 bit is there for network and 1 bit for host, so it is fulfilling the requirement. So definitely you can do the subnetting in /25, but subnetting is not possible in 24. Reason behind you don't have any network bit available in this host area. So definitely /26 you will also participate in networking subnetting, 27, 28, 29 and 30 also. But what do you think about 31? 31 will not participate in subnetting. Reason behind it is having only 1 bit for subnetting, right? So it is not possible. So yeah, this note is very important. Minimum 1 network bit and minimum 2 host bit required for subnetting. Or you can say if only 1 host octet is there, then how it is possible to keep in different network? How it is possible to divide into different network? So guys, it is not possible. And in this network and in this example you can say it doesn't have any host bit, so it is going to use for broadcast, and only 1 host is there, so it is not going to be used for subnetting. And here subnetting is possible in /25 to /30, and this /24 is default subnet of class C, right guys? So jump to the next topic, and it is the things is one example I have taken. So one example of subnetting of class C is 192.168.1 I have taken. So this is the class C because already it's 192 you can see. So 3 octet is there for network, and this 3 octet and this octet is for host. And I have taken the example of slash 26, means 26 minus 24 is equal to 2. So what do we need? 2 means you have borrowed 2 bits. How many bits? 2 bit, 128 and 64 you have borrowed. Just to take the previous example. So come to this. So I have taken the example of slash 26 in the sense 2 bit has been borrowed, right? So if in this 2 bit has been borrowed, let me change the color here. So it is, I'm going to take this this one. So see the example of this is slash 26. In this slash 26 2 bit you have borrowed, right? So come to the our main topic. So here it is slash 2 bit slash 26 in the sense 26 minus 24. 26 is the question. 24 is the, from where 24 I have taken, because it is a class C address. So 24 is the default network bit. So just I have subtracted from the main example slash 26. So 2 number representing you have borrowed 2 bits, that is 120 and 64. So on the behalf of this I am going to explain you subnetting, how subnetting will be. So first question is number of subnets. So formula is 2 raised power n. What is 2 raised power n? N is representing number of borrowed bit. So how many bit you have borrowed? 2 bit you have borrowed. So 2 bit you have borrowed means 2 raised power 2. In the sense 4 subnet is possible. So you are going to divide single network into 4 parts, right? Second is giving you idea about block size. Block size in the sense, suppose you are going to divide the network, definitely you will having the curiosity to know the block size, in the sense how much IP will be there in every block, because you have divided into 4 blocks. So because of that you will be able to understand, you will be able to know that how many bits it is. So if it is 4 is there, 4 subnets are there. So what will the value of, what will the capacity of, what will the block capacity of every 4 subnets? So here it is the question. So in block size, to find the block size there is 2 options there. One is a direct method, this is the direct method, another is a book method. So this is the book method. So book method, so direct method is, I think it is very easy to understand. Lower borrowed bit is the block size. So what is the lower borrowed bit? Means you have borrowed 120 and 64. So definitely lower bit is 64. So your block size will be 64. But it's a book example. Book is saying 256 minus borrowed bit. So 256 minus total borrowed bit. So total borrowed bit in the sense you have borrowed 128 plus 64. So addition of these two will be 192, right? So don't confuse with yourself with this 92 and this 92. So this is the addition of 2 binary bits. So 192 I have taken. So 192. So in this case 256 minus 192 is equal to 64. So answer is same, right? So but the question is from where this 256 came. So guys, 0 to 255 number we are using, right? So 0 to 255 you are going to count, so it is 256. Just like 1 to 9 is 9, 1 to 9 is 9, but 0 to 9 is 10. Same kind, 1 to 255, 1 to 255 is 255, but 0 to 255 is 256. So we are using 256 value, because of that it is 256 minus 192, that is 64. So 64 is your block size. Third question is host per subnet. That is host per subnet means to calculate the block size. Host per subnet, how many hosts will be there in every subnet. So here it is block size minus 2 you are going to provide. Block size minus 2 is the host per subnet. So what is the block size? Block size you have calculated 64, 64 minus 4, so it is 62. But book is saying 2 raised power h minus 2, that is h is number of host bit. So you can say 2 raised power 6. Why it is 2 raised power 6? Why this 6? Host bit is 6. Just have a look. Here it is. I am taking the example of slash 26. So 26, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bit is there for host. So definitely you are going to have a put, you are going to keep this /26 in this example. So I have taken 6 and 2 raised power 6 is 64. So 64 minus 2 is 62. So answer is same. In both the case answer is same. So instead of going for big long calculation, you can calculate the block size and just you minus 2, you will get the answer of host per subnet. Now its final point is subnet table. So subnet table you can see this is the subnet number, first valid IP, last valid IP and broadcast IP. So here you can see subnet number will represent the subnet, and first IP to last IP you are going to use for IP address, and last one IP is going to be used for broadcast address. So guys, this is the base address. 192.168 is the base address. 192.168.2 is the base address. 192.168.2 is the base address. Here it is 192.168.2. 192.168.2 is the base address. So your base address is not going to change. But guys, the fourth octet value is going to change. So fourth octet value will start from 0 and keep on adding a block size. So keep on adding block size in the sense start from 0 and keep on adding block size. So 0 plus 64 is 64. 64 plus 64 is 128. 128 plus 64 is 192. So first of all, you have to create the subnet numbers as you have calculated in the beginning itself that it is going to divide into 4 subnets. So first, second, third, and this is the fourth subnet has been divided. So start from 0, keep on adding block size, that is 64. 64 plus 128, 192. Now you have to add 1 on this and it will become first IP. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So here it is 1. So it is the first IP. 64 plus 1 is 65. That is the first IP of this subnet. 128 plus 1 is 129. First IP of this 128 subnet. And 192 plus 1 is 193. First IP of this. And guys, before calculating last IP, first you calculate the broadcast IP. So how you are going to calculate the broadcast IP? So broadcast IP, suppose you want to write the broadcast IP of this, so you take 1 minus from next subnet. So next subnet is 64. 64 minus 1 will be 63. Suppose you want to write the broadcast IP of this, so next IP is 128, so it will become 127. Suppose you want to write the third, so it is 192. So 192 minus 1 is 191. And suppose you want to write the subnet number of this, so next if you are going to add 64 on this, so it will become 256. 192 plus 64 is 256, and 256 minus 1 is 255. So here you can generate the broadcast address, and from broadcast address you have to minus 1 and it will become 62, right? So 63 minus 1 is 62. 127 minus 1 is 126. 191 minus 1 is 190, and 254 is minus is 254. 255 minus 1 is 254. So like that. So this is first valid IP and this is the second valid IP. If anybody is going to ask you 10 IP, suppose any company need 10 IP, 10 IPv4 require, they are asking for 10 IPv4. So if you don't have the subnetting concept, then what you will do? You will do like a previous example, 192.168.2 or 1.1.254 IP. You may give it to any company, but right now you have a solution of subnetting. So you will not give this, you will give this subnet, means /26 you are going to give, not /24, right? So in this case of /24, in the sense 26, in the sense 2 bit has been borrowed from host part. So now in this 1 to 62, so 62 IP can be given, right? Further this can be divided, but in this case previously you was losing 244 addresses. In this only you are losing 16 addresses. But guys, further subnetting will help you to reduce this loss also. So we'll learn later on, but I hope you will be able to understand how this table is going to be managed. Kindly rotate my video and we'll repeat twice and thrice, you will understand how this table is going to be created. I have given another example of same class C on slash 25. So guys, you have to calculate slash 25 on the behalf of my previous explanation, but after your own calculation, just you match through this my slide, you will get answer like this. Try, and I hope you will be able to just calculating the class C subnetting. In next video, I will definitely get you the detail about class B and class A also. So in upcoming video, I will get you the detail about A and B. That time I will explain you few more example, and I will get you few more details. Thank you.